are you? How the heck are you?
We're going to do a podcast.
So let's get a little deeper into your story, shall we? Who are you?
Well,
that becomes a sticky wicket. You know, what's your juice? Let's get back on track. You've got a lot of things going on. What is it that you're curious about? You know, what do you do?
Run the world.
Right? Well,
like, let's crumble up some falafel for you.
boom, 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 boom. It's been a whirlwind for you. What is it that supercharges you about this? Lots going on, lots coming up. Or is that too many stuff? Did I ask too many questions?
No, not too many questions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Mind Your Own Business, the Chamber podcast. I'm Mo Beliveau. I am the Executive Director of the Chamber of Greater Easthampton, and we're delighted that you have joined us today. Before we get started with our super special guest, I would like to thank eMedia. We are in eMedia Studios today, and I thank Jeff Mastriani, the Executive Director, and his team, and in particular today, Jackson Foote, who is the production manager, helping us today and helps us make us look fabulous and sound fabulous and gets us out into the world. So with that said, thank you so much. And we're going to just dive right in. And today we have with us Jeff Swanson, owner of Anytime Fitness in Southampton. And I'm going to actually let you take it from here, Jeff, because you've got multiple sites.
I do.
And tell us where you are, and then, tell us where you are.
Sure.
First of all, let me back up. How the heck are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Yeah, busy but good.
Good.
It's a great time of year.
I'm glad you're here. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Off you go. Share a little bit of who you are.
Yep. So I am, as you know, Jeff Swanson from the introduction, and live here in Southampton, but met a gal from Easthampton, so very familiar with the territory. And when we came out of college, we settled into this area. So that was kind of nice. So from there, I've always been in the fitness industry from my Springfield College days to coming out and working within the industry. About 10 years ago, had the opportunity to look into the Anytime Fitness model and be my own owner, my own boss, which was kind of nice. And with that, we were able to do some investigation and found a club in Belchertown where it was family owned, and they were very concerned about who would take that over. And I must have presented like a nice guy, and they said, "Okay, we'd love to have you." Well, we'd love to have you do that. So we first purchased the Belchertown Anytime Fitness. Fell in love with the brand, aligned perfectly with my mission statement.
Sure. Great.
Just creating a healthier lifestyle in everybody we touch.
So are you still in Belchertown?
We have Belchertown, that's our first.
Okay, and then now in Southampton.
And then we moved to Westfield next.
So 3. That's far.
And a 4th on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we went to Westfield, and 6 months later, because there was some owners there that were from another area in Rhode Island, not local, and I realized that local flavor is what really makes even though it's a franchise and it's a large group, most franchises are owned by the small guy like me that just has a passion for this industry.
Sure,
and does that. Yeah.
Connects with the locals.
But then Southampton became available, not the best timing, but came available in 2021, that summer.
I know.
Fresh off of COVID, but it's my hometown. So I just had to figure it out.
Good.
As most people had to do.
Good.
Yeah.
You mentioned your passion and your motivation. I'm wondering what initially inspired you to enter into the fitness world, and you mentioned that Anytime Fitness, they align with your personal mission, but what is that exactly?
Yeah, I growing up not too far from here, was an athlete, got hurt, thought I was going to be a baseball player like every young child thinks, I think, and that was gone. So then I started realizing why, and looked into that. At the same time, my family history on my mother's side are diabetic, hypertensive, overweight. And I had an uncle at that point when I was in college at Springfield College that passed away at 42, weight, very heavy. And so that just continued to inspire my wanting to help other people in their fitness journeys and then help myself with my injuries and things like that. So that was kind of the motivator in the beginning. And then as I became more and more involved in the industry and seeing the success stories of our members, that just fuels your fire and just keeps you going. And so that's my initial motivation, was family history, personal disappointment in, not being a baseball player, and then wanting to help others.
And what a wonderful way to have a direct impact on someone's life.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what is your juice that keeps you going? When you get up in the morning, you've been doing this since you've graduated from college, basically.
35 years.
Right. So that's a long time to
Yeah.
get up in the morning and go, yeah, I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
What is that juice that just keeps you, that slow drip?
I think it's just every time you meet somebody new, there's a new story. And so I enjoy meeting people and then finding out where they are and where they've been and, and knowing that we can help. And so, that's probably my number one motivation as I go in, and I have a list of things I have to get done as an owner of a business, but then you run into the members and then that just is the juice that keeps you flowing. So it's the success stories. It's running into people outside of the business that says, "Oh, you saved my life," and telling me their story of I met them 20 years ago and they're still exercising and things like that.
So I like the fact that, someone has said to you, "Oh, you've saved my life," which, perhaps I can remember when I was young, I had a particular story that I was telling myself about working out and being fit, and I had a particular goal, which has changed over, my story around that has changed.
Sure.
I'm wondering, has your story around that changed for you? What was it in the beginning and what is it now? For instance, I'll share with you. So for mine, at this age, and it's going to be 61 in a couple of weeks, my story has changed from being aesthetics to being fit and strong.
Yeah.
In my older years.
Yep.
I want to be able to run when I'm 80. I may not be able to run a marathon, but who knows? Maybe I will. But so that story's changed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was in corporate wellness for 16 years. And so I was seeing the pressures and the stressors of the corporate world. So we talked so much about work-life balance at that time, and that the corporate watering hole is now got to be your fitness center, and you need to oscillate, you need to move, because you don't know when the most important phone call is going to come in a 40-hour work week, so you need to be at peak performance. So that was kind of my initial push for the industry. And then over time, the work-life balance comes in, and making sure that you find time you have the energy from the workout to be able to leave the workplace and still have energy to enjoy your family and your kids. And
I've been trying to craft a different phrase around that, because work-life balance, we've heard it so often, it becomes kind of like cliche, but it's so important. And then I think really more so now than it was pre-COVID. And I think that also because our lives and the world is on this accelerated trajectory, and it's not slowing down, and I'm really becoming very aware of the collective stress level and the collective state of being. Right?
Yeah. No, we've seen such a dramatic change, and then COVID, as hard as it was, I think really took people. They had to say, now I have to take care of myself. And coming out of COVID, we've had a lot more. We're a coaching facility, so we really like to we just don't join, and I call it the Vanna White, where, here you go.
Right.
And, but we sit down with the person, talk about their history, where they've been.
Right.
It's not only fitness, but it's also, stress management, recovery, nutrition. So we've delved into a lot more topics with that, and the why today, and I'll be 62 this year, so we're in that same era. And I have grandchildren, so my why is, I want to be able to get down on the floor with my grandchildren and pick them up and enjoy that. So, that's the big thing that we do. And I hire younger people in our industry, so it's really instilling in them that you have to listen and be available and hold accountability for us. We all need that.
I really like how your model is kind of a holistic
Mm-hmm.
model.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just going in and doing the aerobics. It's not just going and doing cardiovascular. It seems to me like there's a whole, nutrition, that's a whole other, maybe even half of what it is that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Food being the strongest medicine, from my perspective, in my opinion,
Yep.
the strongest medicine that we take 3 times or more a day.
Mm-hmm.
And do I always get it perfect? I don't.
Right.
And I struggle. But I think that it just goes hand in hand, and it's a
Oh,
beautiful thing to be able to be part of that journey with somebody else.
Yeah. And for somebody else, but also in real life.
Right.
I tried to preach to my own family, but that's like preaching to your children. It's hard. So now I can do that for myself. And, and I even, my doctor just a month ago said, Jeff, your sugars are a little high and you've got diabetes in your family. And
Right.
my sister, who's younger than me, is now type 2 diabetic. And she said, what medicine do you want to go on? And I said, exercise.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I want to do this on my own. And so, and here I'm in the industry. So who knows better?
Trust me,
But-
I spent 20 years as a massage therapist, and one would think that I would have no problem with stress management.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the case.
No. Yeah.
I am a human being,
Yep.
and it's there. And I think it's interesting too. My husband, who is has a very high metabolism, and he's lean.
Yep.
And we've always had, not always, but we've had conversations around, just because you're lean doesn't mean that you can eat sugar every day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's a whole crazy
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah. And I
That we
kept thinking I can get away with it. I can get away with it. I can get
Yeah.
away with it. So,
Yeah.
literally a month ago, when I got that call, I put myself right on my plan that I do for my members and
Good for
dropped
you.
12 pounds. And
Walk in the talk, brother.
you
That's
have
what
to.
I like.
You do. And so those moments are when, you have those come to Jesus talks to yourself
Right.
and say,
Don't
okay.
you? I think that's
Yeah.
kind of exciting, though, right? Because I think as a business owner
Mm-hmm.
and a leader,
Mm-hmm.
leading by example. I mean, you can't just be going blah blah blah.
Right.
And that is another what's the word I'm looking for? Another aspect of what it is that you offer,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And more awareness and education. So you mentioned your husband, and my father was the complete opposite. He could still fit in the tuxedo he was married in when he passed away.
My husband's the same way.
So he's always had the same regime. Every morning it was this for breakfast, this
Right.
for lunch, this for dinner.
Yeah.
And just very consistent with but cancer at age 67.
Right.
So, so that's just another component that we have to
That
be
is
aware
another
of.
component, because you can be fit as a fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
You can be, your diet and your nutrition can be outstanding,
Mm-hmm.
above average.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean we're not going to get sick.
Right.
That does not mean. But what I like to believe is that we will be stronger as we're going through that.
Mhm.
Our recovery perhaps
Mm-hmm.
won't be so rocky,
Right.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you believe that?
I do. I was blessed when my father passed, in the sense, even though I was young, we connected every day. And, and so that was important to me to have that connection with him. But then to go through that and knowing the passing, that I could then pass on the importance of, he was fit as a fiddle and just never really went to the doctors because he didn't think he had to.
Right.
My mother, he was taking her to the doctor every day,
Right.
every visit for
Yeah.
various things.
Yeah.
And she outlived him by 12 years. And
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So it's, so you have to, again, you have to approach everybody to what's your story, where are you at, and how you're taking care of yourself. And the holistic approach is so important.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you're managing currently 3 locations, and do you still get to work directly with clients? Not clients.
Not directly, but I make sure I visit each club at least once time a week to meet with the people, because I always walk around to find their stories.
Yeah.
So there I can
I think your
encourage
staff
them.
appreciates it too.
Oh, they do.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't. I
Yeah.
think they want to be connected.
Oh, I get texts.
I
Where
think.
are you? When are you coming in this week? So that's important. And the owners of the buildings and the places I work with, they want to know I'm connected to. And
Yep.
so it's that having a presence that makes a big difference. And it just, I want to think because of my age, I have a calming influence of everybody because that's my nature.
Well, I kind of like to think that too, but I don't think I actually do because my energy can be a little high at times. And people, I think they see me coming, they're like, oh my God, here she comes.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Yeah, that's
It's
who we
what it
are.
is.
It's who we are. Yeah.
So, can you share with us, in your current role, in your lifetime, your life at the moment, what's a significant challenge that you have faced? And how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so one of the things that we make sure that every member has a coach. Whether you buy our personal training or take small group training, but you'll have a connection with somebody in the facility. In last year, at the tail end, I had 2 key employees, one in each location, that were my lead trainers, both get injured.
Oh, no.
You know, so the immediate was, I don't have a backup plan. I don't have a plan for that.
Oops.
You know, there goes the revenue, which is important, but there goes the connection of their trainer to the member.
Well, there's a lot of things going on. You're concerned about your employee. Will they get better? Right? When are they coming back?
Yep.
Are they coming back? And then there's that connection, of course, because now you have a relationship with your trainer. There's a lot of trust.
Yes.
I would think that would be more important in that situation. That trust weighs more.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, they're losing personal income, so I'm making sure that they understand what's available to them for services in the state. And then in that, don't worry, you'll have a job, but take care of yourself. Make sure you're healthy, because, all these moments, even as trainers, you have our life experiences that then you can now, these 2 have that experience. I wouldn't want anybody to go through it.
Right.
But can now come back and talk with their clients. And the beauty of our team is that they've made such great connections that these members also are you okay? Are you okay? They're not worried about, am I okay because I lost my trainer, but are you okay as my trainer?
Right.
Which was nice to see that.
So what was your plan B? What ended up happening?
So we went back to hiring now a member experience managers in our locations that now will be the backup for our trainers. So they'll be the person that coordinates the training program, and the coaching facility that we are get to know the client. So they'll have a backup trainer in a sense. But they'll also make sure the membership base is getting what they need. So now if one of our own staff is injured, they're fully aware of what their program is like, and they can pick up their training program from there until this person comes back. So we learned that the hard way, but we've rehired, and we've hired 2 fantastic people to do that role.
Great.
In our facilities, and we'll do the same thing with our new location, and right from the get-go. Nice. So that we'll have that member experience manager that knows their story and can be available and to keep them going. Yeah. Nice. So
I'm excited to see that, the whole I don't want to call it a club, because once upon a time, when I was young, it's, the health club, the fitness club. I don't know what you call that these days, but
no, it's what
your sites.
Yeah.
That's still important. People are still wanting that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's neat to open up Southampton because we have a very, this is a bedroom community in a sense.
Yeah.
Very diverse group of members. We have the seniors in the morning that, if there was a cup of coffee, they would sit on the machine all day.
I know.
But they don't. But they chat and they get to know each other. And but how many I've heard say, I never thought at my age I would enjoy this.
Right.
And
I wonder, how I think it's been observed that as a social outlet, drinking, alcohol has gone down. And has your fitness attendance, your site attendance gone up? Because I feel like that would be a really strong social community.
I shouldn't say this, but I will. I've been doing this forever, and there's always going to be a third that join and never use it.
Right. Yes.
And there's a third that join and will casually use it, and then there's a third that you don't even have to hardcore. They're going to be there every day, and that doesn't move much in the 30 years I've been keeping track of attrition, retention, reporting. But we always put the effort in, and
I just wondered because, running clubs and that sort of thing, people are kind of swapping out one social
Yep.
thing for another, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just came to me.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we like to think, they call it the third place in people's lives. We have work and family and home, and then the third place would be us. And although church would be another one that should be a third place, but that's been, losing attendance as well, too. So, but we hope that we become a place where people go to just to create a healthier lifestyle and meet other people and like-minded people.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
I think you always have that dream of being your own boss and your own owner and that kind of thing. And it took me a long time to get there. So, I look at it, I was patient, but I also took some gambles and risks and lost some money along the way and tried different things. And, and I don't know if I would change anything.
I was going to say, don't we need to do that?
You do. You have to
as
have
long as
the
it's not
failures.
a catastrophic.
No.
And even then, it's not necessarily.
At the time, everything
Right,
seems like, oh my God,
Right.
why did I do this?
Right.
But then you just wake up the next morning, the sun rises again, and you just start over again. So I think patience. I've always preached that patience of sports when I was the president of Little League for the kids in town, and just enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big deal, right?
Yeah, it is.
And
it's hard at times, but it's.
And finding, if I can just get through this, if I can, and then I can relax, or whatever it is. It's like, before you know it, I'm 61.
I hear you. I'm the same. I'm like, just got to get Hadley open now, our new location,
Right.
and then everything will be great. And
Right.
But then
Right.
I know what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you manage your work-life balance that we just were talking about? How do you do that? You were just sharing that, your doctor gave you some news and you're like, well, now I got to readjust. Because, for instance, I find myself at times, I've just re-embarked over the past couple of years on health and fitness. And I can find myself saying to myself, well, you know what? I need to get into the office. I don't have time.
Yep.
Right? But
Yeah.
is that really the case?
No,
And it reminds me of, that Don Henley song, How Bad Do You Want It? That comes into my head lately.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I'm not doing it, obviously I don't want it bad enough.
Right. Yeah. And for me, it's all or nothing. I either have to really commit and then stay true to that. Because as soon as I let that little,
Do you
slip.
find yourself getting up earlier in the morning, or you're maybe lucky that you have all these facilities you can maybe schedule it into your day? How do you do that?
So I actually have to work out at my own house.
And is it always just exercise? I shouldn't say just, but is it always exercise?
No. So we made a
Work-life
commitment,
balance.
my wife and I, to Wednesday nights we're in a couples golf league.
Nice.
So,
That's great.
a lot of times it's let's play at 4:00, and that means we're gonna clock out at 3 and go, and that's our midweek, moment to just pause and.
Is it
and do
hard though
that.
sometimes, right?
Oh, it's a scramble.
Right?
Because you're literally, you're like squeezing one more thing in, and then
Oh.
I'm going to get to I want to stretch before, but I'm just going to get up to the first tee and hit.
Yep.
And my wife's a social worker, so she is very dedicated to her
You're very
people.
complementary to each other.
We are, yeah. And what's kind of nice is that my daughter is also a social worker, follow my wife's footsteps, and my son works with me. So
Oh my gosh.
I said, geez, you thought we'd have a nice life, and they're following in our exact same footsteps. And so and we have the grandchildren now, so I have 4 grandchildren, so.
You don't want to miss that.
No, so they, my son's in Easthampton, my daughter's in Westfield, and we're right in the middle. So we're
Nice.
we're the who's staying over this weekend. So
Oh gosh.
yeah, so those moments you just cherish and know that they're not forever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Again, too, you have this busy schedule, you have busy life, a growing family, and community involvement. How does that fit into your life, and what does that look like?
Yeah, since the very beginning, I don't say no easy, so that's why it sometimes happens when I should probably say no. But I was a Little League president baseball was my passion, so Little League was an important thing for the town of Southampton. So I was president for 16 years and
my
enjoyed
word.
that. Yeah. So and coached through that time, volunteered.
A lot of kids going through there.
Yep. Yep. And but I was able to create. That was when I was in the corporate wellness world, traveling to Hartford every day. But I was able to get out, get to all the games, get to coach and do the things because, as a person that is result driven, I made sure that who I worked for also had that same philosophy, and therefore we were able to work it out to have that balance. Joined the Kiwanis. It was part of the original Kiwanis group in Easthampton, Southampton.
Right.
The last one probably brought in by the group. I was the youngest at the time. So volunteered for the golf tournaments and all the guys, and sold the Christmas trees in town.
Yes.
And now with our church, Easthampton Congregational, has the trees now.
Right.
And so that was another community giving for me. And so I've always continued to do things like that. The Park Commission in Southampton, I was on the Labrie Field Committee for that with the guys and gals for that project because that, again, brought ball fields to the kids. And now a playground is there, and it just adds to our community. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm the treasurer for our church in Easthampton at the Congregational Church and the Endowment Fund, and, enjoy that fellowship as well. To do that, so I'll race home to be on a Zoom meeting at 6:30 on Tuesday night for a board meeting, but I enjoy it.
Good for you.
And so it doesn't seem like it's a challenge.
Good
when
for
enjoy
you.
it. Yeah.
Good for you. Before I get into your future vision and goals, I wanted to just also touch upon the corporate wellness program. You and I have chatted about that briefly.
Yeah.
But maybe you can share a little bit more about what that is and how people get involved, or what's your vision for that, or I don't know.
Yeah. So when I was at the company I worked for prior to owning Anytime Fitnesses was strictly corporate wellness. So we would be part of new employee orientations for new hires, an important part of people understanding that work-life balance, but that the employer actually encouraged it as well, because they realized that if they're not healthy, and presentism is probably the most important thing. Present at the job and having the energy. And productivity would increase.
Yes.
But
sick time down.
Sick time, absentee, all those things. So it was, and then it's just showing another philosophy that we have, which is care, connect, and coach. So that they care, they're connecting with their employees and see them as just not a worker, but a person that.
So when I think of corporate wellness, I think of big companies. You mentioned Hartford, so I'm thinking Travelers, I'm thinking Aetna, I'm thinking. But is there an opportunity for smaller business owners to perhaps think about something like that? Yeah,
so we do. The simplest one is just to offer this as a potential benefit. We'll do a corporate reduced rate for their employees and waive the enrollment fees and things like that, so that they can. It decreases the barrier for them. They may have health fairs coming up, or they may have open enrollments, in that we can then have a flyer to see if they're interested in that. And it's just not for us. I mean, I've been in the industry long enough that, I encourage the other groups out there to also do the same, so that it doesn't feel like members want to be members of the Y because they have family and they have children. Planet Fitness has a real benefit for people that, it's an affordability thing. So
could you work with an employer from, like, say, a micro business to maybe small business? So, like, maybe you just have 3 employees or up to whatever?
Yeah, any size. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that would be a benefit. So
nice. Contact Jeff.
Yeah, but contact me. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. So tell us about your short-term, long-term goals. We mentioned that there's a new location.
Yeah, so we're currently, my son is there now spraying the ceilings white. The new location is in Hadley on Route 9 by the...
Did you have him doing the same job when I stopped to say hi to you when you were in Southampton? I think
probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the sprayer. I'm the wall painter.
Okay.
So we enjoy doing that. And my wife is just a saint, and she comes in and picks up everywhere else where we don't.
Picks everybody else up.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. She's fantastic. So with the new location, we're excited because it's right on Route 9 by the TJ Maxx Stop and Shop Plaza there.
Yep.
Close to UMass, great parking. And so we're excited because there's a new design now for Anytime Fitness. So people that are in our current locations will see the newest design.
Oh.
And because now the evolution of our industry, has really changed. And so we've always been fitness, but now we're adding nutrition and we're adding recovery.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that holistic coaching.
Exactly.
So important.
Yeah. So we're bringing in, I'm venting right now actually a registered dietitian program that's out there for this location, and then we'll see how it goes, and we'll expand to our other locations. Because like you said, nutrition to me is almost 80% of it. I hate to say it, but
I think they're hand in hand. You can't
they really
just
are.
do one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, but
Yep.
to get maximum
Mm-hmm.
benefit.
Yeah, and then our recovery is we're looking to reintroduce like the yoga type platform, just relaxation on the purple turf is our famous thing.
Right.
And so that people will breathe and stretch and relax and
Recover.
recover.
Because we all know we can get caught up in, I got to do it every day.
We don't do it.
No.
No.
Your
And even just a
body's
few
not-
minutes of breathing, just proper breathing is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're adding in other components. We have what we call a recovery room. So the new thing out there, which we're again going to bring into Hadley, is red therapy.
Red light?
Red light therapy.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're excited
Interesting.
to introduce that. I've just before coming here, I talked with an owner that put it in about 5 months ago, and he said it's just the people are loving it.
Really?
And as a
What
recovery
is the
tool.
health benefit of the red light?
It really
Tell me more.
it helps. It's great for your skin. It helps with wrinkles. It helps with just your recovery for muscle soreness. So your recovery time between
Really?
workouts. You may play a round of golf and tweak something. It's supposed to help again with that.
Delayed onset muscle soreness.
Mm-hmm. And then I've heard that it helps with hair growth.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, really? And so, and this gentleman, his name is Jeff as well, I talked to this morning. He said one of his people, because he has his people trying it, said she has to stop going in there because her hair's growing too fast. So, I don't know.
That may, well,
We'll
be careful
see.
what you wish for.
That's what I know. So we're excited to just introduce these new things, because I think our industry, again, I'm going to be 62, but so my former Springfield College guys and gals that I go to their seminars all the time, and they say, you know what I was telling you last year? I'm not doing that anymore.
Right. It's different now.
Now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And next year I'm going to tell you what I'm doing today.
But you know what? It's that way all over the place. And it's just you just have to, when we were young, it was you learn the thing,
Yep.
you do the thing, you retire.
Yeah.
Now it's you learn the thing, do the thing, learn the thing, do the thing, and hopefully you can retire.
Or if you love what you do.
Right.
My son is my legacy, and so I'm fortunate in that way.
Nice.
And then just like when you mentioned the Travelers, it was a Travelers Taking Care Center I worked for 16 years in Hartford. And, But my father was a lifelong Travelers employee. So to me, to be able to help the people of the Travelers Insurance Company to create a healthier lifestyle,
Right.
and be almost a legacy feeling for my father, was a pretty cool thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, Jeff, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience that maybe we didn't tap into? A little something that maybe they may not know about you or Anytime Fitness, or?
I think we do it pretty well. So I encourage just people to come check us out. There's no harm in coming in and trying us out for 7 days, getting a feel for the location, meeting our trainers, and seeing if it's something that fits for them.
Nice.
And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
If it does, it's all about, I always say, the timing of life, where you are.
Yeah.
Because right now it might not be important, but
It will be.
you'll get that call from the doctor and says, hey, your sugars are high and you better do something.
Right.
And you're like, hey, I need to do this today.
I know.
So,
So where can they find out more? Where can they find you? Where can they find Anytime Fitness?
sure. So, Anytime Fitness, just to give a little more history, is the largest franchise in the world. So there's
Oh, there you go.
5,000 locations
I
worldwide.
didn't know
Yeah, so it's huge. It's on every continent. And so we have a website, anytimefitness.com. And within there, you can put the zip code to find the closest location, whether you're here in Easthampton, which Southampton would be, or you work over at UMass and Hadley might be. And so it's all about finding that place that's 10, 15-minute drive time, home or work. So that's probably the fastest way to find us is just go to our website, anytimefitness.com. Okay. There's a 7-day pass on there.
Sweet.
Yeah. So come try us out.
Nice.
Meet us. And most people, when they walk in the door, don't feel pretty comfortable. So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're busy. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate you being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I would like to thank all of you for joining us again here today. Thank you again, eMedia. You guys are awesome. If you want to know more about eMedia, they're at easthamptonmedia.org. You can find them. You can find the Easthampton Chamber, easthamptonchamber.org. And listen to past podcasts anywhere that you get your podcast, audio, and then there's video on YouTube, Easthampton Media's YouTube channel and the Chamber's YouTube channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you next time. Peace out.